Good morning, great Biafrans and lovers of freedom all over the world. My name is Kbaud TARI NEMI, and today I want to welcome you to Radio Biafra, Voice of the Coast, and we are going to be handling some very sensitive but important issues today. But before we go ahead, we have to pray. And today we are going to be praying with a psalm, because today is the day 54 of our 150 days prayer declared by our leader, Mazen Amdekano. And we are going to pray from Psalm 54, verse 1 to 7. Save me, O God, by your name, and vindicate me by your strength. Hear my prayer, O God. Give ear to the words of my mouth. For strangers have risen against me, and oppressors have sought after my life. They have not set God before them. Behold, God is my helper. The Lord is with those who uphold my life. He will repay my enemies for their evil. Cut them off in their truth. In your truth, O Lord. I will freely sacrifice to you. I will praise your name, O Lord, for it is good. For he has delivered me out of all trouble, and my eye has seen its desire upon my enemies. Let us pray. Oh, our Father in heaven, winging and away, Samara, Chukukika Abiyama. We, your children, have gathered again before you to praise and worship you and make our supplications to you. We humble ourselves before you. O God of our salvation, we lift up our leader and your servant, Mazen Amdekano, before your throne of grace. We plead for your mercy upon him and millions of people who are crying on his behalf. You are the only God who has control over the affairs of men. You swore by your name to deliver those who put their trust in you. You delivered Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego from the burning fiery furnace, delivered Daniel from the lion's den, delivered Peter and the apostle from prison, delivered Paul and Silas from prison, and many others. You are the same yesterday, today, and forever. You have not changed, and you will not change. Oh, Tamara, Deliver Mazinam Kanu, your servant, who has been held captive and tortured for committing no crime. Only that he is on assignment that you, Tamara, sent him for the freedom of your people, Biafrans. Arise, Almighty God, in battle and set him free from the conspiracy of strong enemies and heal him of every injury they have inflicted on him physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Bow down the heavens and come down for our help. Wherefore will the heathens ask us, where is your God? Destroy them utterly and save your children. No man will share in your glory, not at all. No man, O Elohim. For we know that you alone can save Mazinam Kanu and Biafrans from death and extermination. We thank you for answering our prayers. For we pray in your holy name, bringing and away Tamara Chukukika Biama, now and forever and always. Ise, more power. Today, we are going to be talking about the current strategy of the zoo. The current strategy of the zoo to destroy our struggle and destroy all of our people. And I will want each and every Biafran to pay very close attention to these things that I'll be explaining this morning. I will appreciate if you pay close attention, because what we are going to be talking about this morning will have a very strong part in framing your right attitude to the level, to the stage that our struggle has gotten to today, right now. The zoo has identified that their most problem is Mazinam Kanu and Sunday Igboho, the Fulani oligarchy, the Fulani power bloc. They have identified that the only people that can stop them, that can stop their invasion of the South, is Mazinam Kanu and Sunday Igboho. And they have seen that Mazinam Kanu and Sunday Igboho has been united. And that unity has brought about the unity of the South. The politicians in the South have become united. The governors in the South have become united. Even though the governors in Biafra land loathe IPOB, loathe Mazinam Kanu, but still they have become united with the rest of the South. The Fulani oligarchy, they understand that these two people are the only reason why the agitation is strong, or perhaps that is their view. They have identified that if you can handle these people or keep them in detention somewhere, then you can go about whatever you want to do, and everything will go the way you want it to go. I want Biafrans to pay very close attention to this. So as a result of that, they know that the pillar, the foundation, the taproot of the struggle to liberate the people, to liberate all the tribes, whether those in the south or those in the north, from the shackles of the grip of the Fulani demons. The foundation is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They know that if they go after Igboho first, the thing is even going to get thicker if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still there talking on radio. So what did they do? They pretended as if Igboho was not a problem. Sunday Igboho has been in Nigeria. All this while, he has been organizing protests. All this while, nobody came after him. Nobody came after him. He has been organizing protests. He has been leading Yoruba people to organize protests. But nobody came after him. I'd be wondering, some people were wondering then, how come when Biafrans organize protests, these people will come after them and they will shoot and they will do all they want to do. But when the Yoruba protesters were protesting, they will not shoot. Or rather, there was a time they used to shoot, but they had to calm down. They started using water. And we're wondering why. Why are they wanted the Yoruba to be relaxed and Sunday Igboho to be relaxed? They wanted to take it one after the other. They wanted to take this thing one after the other, so they went after Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. When they saw that they have grabbed him, and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is now quiet. His people will be calm. If you kill him, things might get out of hand. International community will blame you. Things will get out of hand you may not be able to control. But capture him and hold him down so that his people will be calm. Now they are beginning to see that it is becoming difficult to hold him down based on the international laws that they broke. So they want to see how they can buy some time and do what they want to do at the next level and try to do it as fast as possible while they have this short time that they are trying to buy. And what is the next thing that they are planning to do? They have already started it. Their next step in their original plan is to create disunity, to penetrate IPOB formation and try to create disunity and distrust. This is why our people must be very, very careful. Something that you do not have evidence about, don't come to the social media and begin to talk about it. Don't come to social media and begin to talk things that you just suspected and accuse people falsely. This is exactly what the enemies want. They want to take advantage of our smartness. They know that we are smart, so they want to put out many questions in the air for us to be asking questions and be bombarding ourselves, and for us to get confused. And they want a situation, whereby our people will begin to pounce on themselves and the house will be divided and disunity will set in. Because they know that our leader Mazen Amdekano is our strength and we are our leader's strength. Our leader Mazen Amdekano has been able to do all the things he has been able to do because of the strong support of IPOB and the people of Biafra. Because of the blind followership of IPOB. Yes, I call it blind followership. We follow Mazen Amdekano blindly. We don't want to see. We don't want to see any other thing. We only want to see Mazen Amdekano, and that is why we have been this successful. We follow Mazen Amdekano blindly. Biafrans have never ever followed a human being the way we are following Mazen Amdekano. Somebody without any political office, all because of the vision to restore Biafra and his commitment and faithfulness to that cause. Biafrans, IPOB has followed this man blindly, unlike Biafrans, whereby we ask questions. Out of every action, we question question every action. We are very smart people. Everything you do, we question. We see fault in everything. Yes, we questioned Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. There are some people today in IPOB that are more passionate than most people, but they started out as people that were criticizing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Yes. Most of them, when they were doing all that, they were not doing it because they hated him. It was because of the nature of Biafra, the nature of Biafrans in them. They were questioning. That was a period of questioning. But when they saw that this man is sincere and this man is indeed true to his words, they followed without looking back. Unlike some others that are being paid to do what they do. Those ones will never change. They already know that this man is sincere. They are doing it as business. They are different. Those ones are different. They are doing it as business. So, people in IPOB are people that have understood that this man, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is sincere, and they are following him, and they are following the structure and the system that he has put in place. Though that doesn't mean that we don't advise him sometimes and say, oh, boss, don't you think it will be better this way? Don't you think it will be better this way? Giving your advice in respect and in honor. Many of us have been doing that. Even many people without any particular office in IPOB have been doing all that. And our leader takes advice. If your advice is reasonable, he will take it. If it is something that is of the time, he will take it. If it is not of the time, he will keep it till when it is the time. He's a very smart person. He knows the vision and he knows what time for your advice to be used. Some people think that because we follow Mazi Nnamdi Kanu blindly, that he doesn't take advice, or we don't advise him, or he doesn't take advice whatsoever. No, if you are in the spirit, you will know the kind of advice to give. You will not give an advice that is off the spirit, that is off course. So you can only advise Mazi Nnamdi Kanu if you are in the same spirit with him, and he will take it. So we have been following him blindly, and these people understand that the strength of IPOB is that blind followership of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So what did they do, or what are they doing? They want to create disunity. They want to create disunity by putting things in the air that will make us pound on ourselves. Just recently, we saw where somebody penetrated one account in the name of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and was talking rubbish. Any brilliant person seeing that will know that that is not how Mazi Nnamdi Kanu talks. That is not our leader. That is not how he talks. That is not how he writes. We have known him for too long and we know how he writes. So anybody that sees that will know that no, this is not Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But why are they doing that? They want you to begin to question and to begin to challenge each other and to begin to fight among yourselves so that there will be distrust. These days, many people come up and accuse the DOS and all of that. I am not speaking for the DOS per se. I am not the head of the DS. But the DS as it is right now are the people that are running IPOB while our leader is in detention. Yes, the head of DS to take order from our leader on very sensitive issues. the primary day-to-day activities, the DS runs it. At the first time when our leader was arrested, or should I say abducted, when he was in detention, then there was a deputy. And everybody followed suit until our leader came back and continued. They know that because there was an IPOB, when our leader returned, that was why the struggle even became more fierce than it was before they kidnapped him. So what they want to do is to ensure, because they have known that they cannot keep him there forever or for as long as they want to because of the international pressure. So they want to see that by the time they are freeing him, there will be no IPOB, or IPOB as strong as it was when they kidnapped him. They want to see how they can weaken the house by creating some fictions. That is why you have to be very careful. You don't go out there in the public and begin to say things that you know nothing about, to say things that you're not sure, to say things that you do not have evidence. I am not saying that you are not free to suspect anybody for anything, but there are some things that are too delicate. You don't go out and begin to lay accusations on people that are supposed to be your leaders. Face the struggle. Say things concerning the struggle. Our leader is in detention. Put up ideas that can help to remedy the situation. But when you go out to social media and begin to say things or make videos or write and say things against in-house, you are not helping the situation. Our leader will definitely come out, and when he's out, he's going to handle those things. Those things should be left for him to handle. We should ensure that we maintain our discipline and make this house even stronger than it was when our leader was here. IPOB must remain strong and even much stronger than she was when our leader was in Europe. That is when he's going to have confidence in you. That is how you can make Mazi Nnamdi Kanu proud. We must remain resolute, and the chain of command must be followed. We must honor that chain of command. Very important. Because that is exactly what our leader put in place until the time when they kidnapped him. Or extraordinarily renditioned him from Kenya. This is very important, because all they will be doing from now henceforth is to set confusion, to bring things. They will just be bringing up things that will set confusion. To bring up things that will set confusion. Any opportunity that they have, they would want to use it to set confusion. And we have to be very smart. This is why a broadcaster from BBC will be going to Mazi Simon Ekpa and be trying to get gossip from him. They want to set confusion. They want to set confusion in the house. Thank God Mazi Simon Ekpa was smart enough to respond the way he responded. They will not stop at that. These ones that they have done, they won't stop. But we have to understand their game. We must know, first of all, that these people want to set confusion. There are some people that have made some videos, they seem to be so sure. They seem to be so sure and they are so bold without evidence to their claims, accusing this person or accusing that person. And one thing you have to understand is when you accuse people falsely and you call out their names, these people, because what we do in IPOB is sacrifice. Everybody that you see in IPOB is sacrificing something to be in IPOB. Whether that person is in Europe, in the Americas, in Africa, anywhere in Africa, or even in the zoo, or in Biafra land. Anybody that is in this struggle is sacrificing something to be here. And most especially people that are handling offices is even much more sacrifice. So when you call people out, if you are wrong, that person is going to be very hurt. The person is going to be hurt. And when such people are hurt, if they are not mature enough or they do not control themselves, they'll begin to destroy things. They'll begin to misbehave. If you're right, there is nothing wrong to call people out with your evidence, if you have all the proof in the world. But when you don't have the proof, you are just speculating. You don't have evidence, you are suspecting, you are speculating. Please keep it to yourself first. Allow our leader to come out. When our leader is out and you come up and you're saying these things, it will be very, very easy for him to handle it. Our leader will not be able to handle our disunity while he's in DSS dungeon. That is why he advised that we must remain united. And the way to remain united is to ensure that you don't start picking out people that you suspect from among the top leadership. Don't start picking out people to suspect. Don't do it. Don't start picking out people to suspect. Don't do it. It's wrong. It doesn't matter how you feel at the moment. You have to put it down. You have to control it. You have to suppress it. It is wrong for you to begin to look out for people to cast blames on and all of that, because you are going to be hurting people. And when you begin to hurt people in positions like that, before you know it, things will start getting bad. So we have to be very sensitive, because that is the plan of the enemy. So whenever you are tempted to do such a thing, know that you are being tempted to please the enemy. Whenever you are tempted to call this person out, to call that person out, to accuse DOS, if you succeed in making Biafrans not to believe in the DOS, how can IPOB be run? How else do you intend to run IPOB? If you succeed in discrediting the DOS or the executives of the DOS, how else do you expect to run this movement. Because the way this movement is run, it is run from the top to the bottom. It is not democracy. It is not run from the bottom to the top. It is run from the top to the bottom. And because it is run from the top to the bottom, that is why it is very sensitive that you do not begin to bring up certain things that do not have clear evidences, certain accusations without clear evidences against people at the top. Because when you do that, the people at the bottom will now begin to find it difficult to take orders from the people at the top. And when that is fully achieved, you have been able to, you have succeeded in breaking the chain. And when you break the chain, there is no longer IPOB. If the chain is broken, there is no IPOB anymore. That chain must remain connected from the top to the bottom. That if today the head of the DOS come out and say, this is what should be done, it should be carried out that same moment immediately. And this can only be achieved when people have trust and confidence in the leadership of the Directorate of States of IPOB. And it is very important that you do not make yourself an agent of confusion or an agent of distraction to the movement. That is how we can work unitedly and work strongly. That is how we can work in strength. Now, their plan, like I told you, they want to see how they can set confusion in IPOB, and if they succeed, they start breaking IPOB into pieces, just as they did in the coast of Biafra when they were fighting for resource control in the name of Niger Delta. They broke the movement for resource control into pieces. That's where you see the resource control movement became camp issue. Everybody now went to their village to set up camps and become independent. That was how they broke it up until the people became weak, and when they forced the Greek gift on them called amnesty, they had no choice, because they knew that they were not united enough to be able to stand the Nigerian state to fight her. Everybody had to drop their arms and accept the Greek gift. Until today, no resource control. Fulani will never do that now. Fulani cannot give you resource control of your resources. You now have control of your resources, have control of your destiny. When you have control of your resources in the south, you have control of your destiny. What else does Fulani have? They cannot have power. There is no how Fulani can have power, because Fulani do not have enough brains as we do in the south. Fulani do not have okay, let me not digress. Maybe I will set out a particular day to talk about the issue of resource control in the zoo, as well as restructuring and devolution of powers. Why Fulani will never ever accept that. Maybe I will handle that tomorrow. Maybe that's what I will handle tomorrow. Devolution of powers in the zoo is impossible. So, as I was saying, what they want to do is to see how they can set confusion in IPOB. And when they see that IPOB has become weak, is not as strong as it was before, then they can begin to penetrate the Yoruba agitation and ensure that it is entirely quietened. So when they have the agitators to become quiet, okay, when they have the agitators to become quiet, and by setting confusion, because when they succeed in setting this confusion, then they will also penetrate. They will try to see that, because they know that the strength of ESN is the leadership of IPOB, the apex leadership of IPOB. Our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the apex leadership of IPOB. So if they can make the people not to trust the DOS, as our leader is now in detention, then how can you have people in ESN that already do not trust the DOS, then for them to go and face death because these people are not being paid? They are doing everything they are doing because of the love and trust that they have for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So once they succeed in doing that, they know that ESN will become weak as well. That is the strategy. Then when this side is weak in Biafra land, they will penetrate Odu agitators and ensure that nobody is coming up or trying to gather the people, or to ensure that the people will not be able to assemble under anybody when they have been able to capture Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Sunday Igboho. Then the South will now become porous. They will continue their advancement, which they are still doing. They did not stop. Oh. It is ESN that stopped them. It is Sunday Igboho that was withholding them. The advancement of the Fulani into the South did not stop. They are still there. They are still advancing. They are only seeing it that the unity of Biafra and Odua in the South has made the South so strong that the politicians are becoming united. The governors have now united. The governors are now stopping the Fulani invasion. Now the Fulani invasion is not being stopped just by agitators. It is being stopped by those that have authority in the zoo as governors. The governors have come together and they have banned open grazing in the South. So the governors are now part of this same thing that we started. And the Fulani knows that these governors are weak people. They have only drawn strength from the strength of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, IPOB, Igboho, and the Yoruba agitators. And once the agitators are removed from the way, the politicians will become weak again and they can penetrate them and destroy them. To destroy the politicians are very easy. Funny enough, some of these politicians, some of them, even though they have been misbehaving, there are some of them that know that their backbone in the South, or their protection in the South, or the protection of their offices, or the protection of their integrity in the South is as a result of the agitators in the South. Because of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB with Sunday Igboho and the Yoruba agitators, the Southern governors now have voice against the North, which was not so in the past. They used to be very much afraid of Fulani. But now they have voice. Now they can talk. That was why when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was captured, some of them started speaking. I could see in some of them the regrets. Somebody like Governor Wike, he was saying, yes, we have bandits at the backyard here in the zoo. But you went far away in Kenya to go and capture this man. Ensure that you follow the law and don't just stop at him, also go after other people. That's a foolish man. Very, very foolish. I could see in his eyes the regret. You felt you want to protect your office, you want to protect Nigeria. You went about killing your own people. Meanwhile, those that are killing people in the north, the bandits, the northerners, they go and they discuss with them. With their guns by their side, the governors are discussing with them. Meanwhile, you are killing your own. Now, they have held Nnamdi Kanu and you are saying that they should follow the law. When they did not hold him, they were not following the law. Is it now that they have held him that you expect them to follow the law? Very, very foolish of you. Very, very foolish of you. So, the Fulani, they understand that these politicians have only drawn strength, even though the politicians are always at loggerheads with the agitators, mostly the Biafran politicians. They are at loggerheads with IPOB. But they are drawing strength from IPOB because we are the only ones that are challenging Fulani. So they have now become bold to as well challenge Fulani. And Fulani is angry about that because they have always known that these people are only but tools. But it is beginning to look as if they are no longer tools. These people are beginning to have some level of confidence. Because prior to this time, they thought that they have been able to suppress the South, that no politician will be able to challenge them. Once anyone tries to challenge them, they come after you, they destroy you, they replace you like they did in Imo State, and nothing will happen, and fear will come upon the rest of the governors and the other politicians. Nobody wants to come out and talk. Hey, they are afraid. Everybody is afraid of Fulani. Hey, what are they going to do? So Fulani have been able to cast that spell of fear in these governors, and they knew it. But now the fear is beginning to leave them because of the confidence of people without political offices, people without political power. Because of Nnamdi Kanu, that is the reason they went after him. That is the reason they went after him. So they want to ensure that now they have Nnamdi Kanu, let them ensure that the struggle is weak, that it doesn't hold its grounds. Then they will now get back to their puppets and begin to control them. They will now begin to promise them, because what the governors have been saying, yes, president from the south, they begin to promise them, okay, there will be president from the south. When they have succeeded in doing that, they will promise them they will be president of the south. But they will also tell them, because there is president from the south, or the south can contest, doesn't mean that somebody from the north cannot contest. That is the wisdom that they are going to use, or the trick rather. It doesn't mean that somebody from the north cannot contest. So when you now bring person from the south, like they are from informations we are getting, they are trying to get back to Goodluck Jonathan. to see how they will bring him out in the public and disgrace him again. So that the little respect that he has in international scene will be lost forever. If he accepts that, he's a very foolish man. They will disgrace him again. Fulani is not ready to relinquish power. Not to somebody like Lord Jonathan that they knew was trying to bring some level of importance or independence politically to the people. Of the South. They will not give him power. They won't. They won't give him power. But they are trying to lure him. They are trying to lure him in so that when they succeed, when they finally succeed in luring him in, a Northerner will now contest with him. He will now contest and he will now lose. He will now lose with a little margin. They know how they do it now. They know how they do it. He will now lose with a little margin. The Fulani will now come back to power fully for another 8 years. 16 years stretch. They will consolidate their power and use every arsenal that they have, because as at that time, from their view, if they have succeeded in this thing that they are trying to do to stop IPOB, maybe all the while they will still live Mazina Mikano in detention if they can, as long as they can. Then by the time they have been able to penetrate everything and displace all these other politicians, these ones that are trying to have mouth, they will displace them and replace them with nincompoops. Then they will flush the South. Then as at that time, if they want to release Mazi, they cannot release him. Maybe we have to start all over from the scratch. All of that. That is their plan. But that plan will only work if IPOB is foolish to follow these distractions, these confusions that they are trying to set. Our leader have so trained us that we cannot allow ourselves to be foolish. and begin to accuse ourselves and begin to fight ourselves within. If you want to fight within, no problem, but don't take your fight to the public. Don't begin to make other people to have the ill feelings that you're having against one person or the other. If you're having an ill feeling against anybody in the struggle, keep it to yourself until you are able to deal with it. Because at the end of the day, you might discover the truth and discover that you were wrong. But you have come out in the public and you have made other people to go wrong. And when you discover you're wrong, you may not have the opportunity to correct what those other people would have done as a result of your fault. We must understand that we are the pillar. We as IPOB, we are the pillar. And most especially, if you have some level of followership on social media, you are an influence. And if you do not control yourself and you begin to make some unnecessary videos and you misbehave, you will regret at the damage that you will cause when you realize that you were wrong. I am not saying that you are wrong or what you will say will be wrong, but when you don't have an evidence to it, don't come out to the public to say it. Sometimes, if you even have an evidence, it is not necessary. It is not necessary. If one person or the other betrayed our leader, blah, 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 our leader is still alive, he will handle it. Those that betrayed him, he will handle it. So, why trying to create disunity in the house? Why trying to fight within the house when our leader is still alive to handle these issues? These issues will be handled by our leader. But the fact is that our house must remain strong and we must remain resolute. Our lawyers are doing a very good work. Our leader will be out very soon. Our leader will be out very soon because our lawyers are doing a good work. That is why you do not see the zoo coming out to be proud of their actions like they did in the past, or like they did in the first few days of his abduction, or his extraordinary rendition. They were very proud. It was all over the news. Hey! In fact, they first of all announced it in Hausa language to tell their people that yes, they have captured their enemy. But now they are hiding because we are at the top of our game. We are leading. In the movement, we are leading. And you must understand that and don't do things that will weaken the minds of people. Because as it is right now, we are on top of our game. We are leading. Our leader will be out by the grace of Elohim. Our leader will be out. And in a very short while, Biafra will be restored. But how early that happens depends on how resolute we remain. How early that happens depends on how resolute that we all remain in this struggle. We must remain resolute. And also I want to speak to all our people in Biafra land and beyond, we have to remain resolute and wait for instructions on what to do. And when we get instructions from the US on what to do, we carry it out immediately. We are supposed to do it. We carry it out. So our being focused on the goal. And what is the goal? To ensure that the strength of IPOB remains and even gets stronger. To ensure that IPOB gets stronger. Whichever country that you are, whenever the instructions are given to carry out, because what we are doing, you know, this struggle has been going in phases. And yes, I want to explain these phases now. Let me explain these phases from the beginning. When we started out in IPOB, when our leader started out, first of all, our leader started gathering us through this same platform that I'm speaking through Radio Biafra. He started speaking, and the people believed and the people understood and gathered around him. He built IPOB. The building of IPOB is the first stage. After IPOB has been built and the goal, which is restoration of Biafra, has been clearly spelled out, the second stage began. The second stage of this movement, which lasted for a very long time, was the stage of media war, the stage of the truth. That was when our leaders started making statements like, I will destroy the zoo with the truth. That was when we entered the media stage, the media battle stage, the stage of the truth, the period of the truth. Now, when I say stages, it doesn't mean that when we advance to the next stage, that the other stage is not being carried out. All the stages are being carried out. Once you advance to the next stage, the other stage is also following. Everything is following up. We got to the media stage and we continued. And indeed, we were able to destroy the zoo with the truth. Those that did not understand what we were saying, over time they have gotten to understand. The zoo is no more. As I speak to you, we have destroyed the zoo. There is nothing like Nigeria. It's just a very tiny thread that is holding this zoo together. Right now, because the zoo has been destroyed with the truth. The zoo has been destroyed. The zoo has collapsed. Onto the next stage. All these phases going on, even though we were telling the world, but Biafra matter was not yet an international issue. It wasn't an international matter. Any nation that showed interest then, they showed interest out of love. It wasn't yet an international issue until these people went to another country to kidnap a citizen of another country. Then they took us to the next level. The struggle for the restoration of Biafra right now is on the international scene. It is now an international movement. The struggle for the restoration of Biafra is now an international problem. It's an international issue. Because the leader of the movement was kidnapped, was extraordinarily renditioned from another country, Kenya, not because of anything else, but because he's asking for referendum for Biafra. So because he's asking for a referendum for Biafra, that's the reason they extraordinarily renditioned him. So the Nigerian states, as they have always done, as they have always pushed us, they have pushed us to the next level. So this level that we are now is a level for more of international law activities than the other activities. Now, it doesn't mean that ESN is not going to stop Fulani invasion. It doesn't mean that our media warriors are still not going to be exposing the Nigerian state. Everything that we've been doing will continue to do. And even more, because our leader wouldn't have been extraordinarily renditioned if we were quiet and were sitting ducks in our houses and were doing nothing. It is because of the strength of this movement that is the reason they went to Kenya to extraordinarily rendition our leader. So, if they must listen to us, if the international community, in fact, if we even keep quiet and remain calm and all that, when the international community is asking what the problem is, what are they going to show them? Are we going to be showing them the past, or they are going to see actively that this thing is going on and it has been going on for long? It's not just that, oh, these are the things that they've done. No, what is going on now, they are going to see it, and they are going to see that this thing has been on for long, and these people have been asking for these things and they have never stopped. So of course, the other phase will definitely continue. The only thing that stopped was meetings, holding meetings in Biafra land and the zoo. Those were stopped, and definitely I don't think they are coming back, except online meetings and all that. or physical meetings? No. That is the only thing that stopped. Every other thing keep on going. At this phase that we are, every other thing keep on moving. But now, this next phase is more of an international affair. That's the reason what we have now is going to in different nations. We are engaging their embassies and letting them understand what is happening or what Kenya have done and all that. So for some people that think that, oh, nothing is happening and all that, everything is happening. Everything is happening. Okay? Everything is happening. And our people must remain resolute and remain focused. That is the whole message. Our people must remain resolute and remain focused, even in this new stage. And in this new stage, how we go about it is, as we get information, we spread it to ensure that everyone is following up on the informations and on the messages as our leaders, lawyers give us messages. We spread it. You ensure that you are following up, so that you will not be left behind, so that probably when there is a particular order that is coming as a result of the informations that have been given, that we've been following up over time, you will not begin to ask foolish questions. You will not be behind. You'll be following up on everything. So we have to be very smart, because we are in a very, very sensitive and delicate era of our struggle. We are in a very sensitive and delicate stage of this movement. And it is now that we are going to prove to the world that we are professionals in freedom fighting, and we know what we want. Provided we remain resolute, we are going to. The fact that Biafra will be restored is not something anybody can debate anymore. Because after all, the zoo cannot come back to what it was. Where people used to believe that Nigeria was a country. It is not possible. It cannot come back to what it was. It is impossible. Even if today IPOB goes to sleep, the zoo cannot return to what it was. The zoo cannot return to what it was. We have destroyed the zoo. We have destroyed the very fabric that puts the zoo together. That deception that puts the zoo together has been eternally destroyed and displaced. The zoo cannot return. But it doesn't mean that we are going to go to sleep. Because until we have Biafra fully restored, we have not fully done our work. Until Biafra is restored, those that died, their death will hold no meaning. Until Biafra is restored, the sacrifices that you make will have no meaning. All the things you've denied yourself from because of the restoration of Biafra will hold no meaning. Until Biafra is restored, everything that you have done for Biafra, every money you've spent, every sacrifice that you've made will hold no meaning until Biafra is restored. And Biafra must be restored in our time, in this age. Biafra must be restored. We have chosen to restore Biafra. We have decided to restore Biafra, and we must remain resolute and to ensure that our goal of the restoration of Biafra is fully achieved. Then when Biafra is restored, you can then go to sleep. If you want to. Those that want to engage in the political activities will engage in the political activities. But in the building of Biafra is not only politicians that are going to build Biafra. With your business, you build Biafra. With your business, you build Biafra. You develop yourself. By developing yourself, you are developing your nation. Because not everybody that loves Biafra, that is in the struggle, will be in politics. Many people wouldn't. But at your level, you contribute your quota to the development of Biafra. You mustn't be a politician to do that. So those that want to go into politics will definitely go into politics. But definitely, those that are in politics today, in Biafra, they will not be interested in politics. Because politics in Biafra will be born out of sheer patriotism. It wouldn't be as a result of somebody that is trying to make money, as it is in the zoo, where if you want to get rich, you have to go and join politics, serve one horrible politician, become his boy, and be doing his dirty works for him. Or you make your money in business, then use it to buy a political party, buy the people there, enter politics, and make more money than you made while you were in business. Or you serve one politician as a boy, do his dirty works, kill the people he wants you to kill, oppress the people he wants you to oppress, until a particular time you also gain your own level of popularity, have your own voice, and get appointments or contracts as the case may be. Or you deceive as many people as you want to deceive, and they give you contracts, or they give you money. That is the zoo politics. All those things are not going to happen in Biafra. You will not get to Biafra and be using money to buy people. Because first of all, Biafrans are proud people. And in Biafra, we are going to be living out our full potentials. It's not like the zoo where the zoo that is trying to choke everybody and make everybody to be Bambiala. No. Biafra is not going to be that way. The way our forefathers lived with pride, that is how we are going to live. Because our forefathers lived with pride in Biafra land. That is how we are going to be. And even more. And for you to come out and be a politician in the land of Biafra, oh, you must be somebody of a very sound character. You must be somebody of a very sound character. Because Biafrans can criticize a lot. We are Biafrans and we know we can criticize a lot. The reason these politicians in the zoo are able to be governors and all that and have all these political positions, it is because it is the zoo. Like some people will say, is it not the same politicians that will still rule in that your Biafra? What will change? Is it not the same people? It cannot be the same people. Who will vote for them? Who will vote for thieves? With this awareness, it's not possible. And the laws there will not be the kind here that makes one become a god. Yesterday you were an ordinary man in the street begging for votes. Tomorrow you are voted into office and you have become a god. Nobody can talk to you anymore. You misbehave, nobody can call you to order. All those things are not going to happen in Biafra. So these people that are used to this life, they are just going to become, either they become ordinary men or they go into business. Maybe they invest with the money that they've stolen. I don't personally believe in start chasing them all around, except those that supervise the killing of our people. But those that stole and all of that, for me, I consider that was the system they were in. So when Biafra is restored, I believe they should just be forgotten. But those that supervise the killing of our people, they shouldn't go unpunished. Except they leave Biafra land and never return. Except they go on exile. But in Biafra land, they shouldn't go unpunished. For you to supervise the killing of your own people, no. You should face the law. In Biafra, such people should face the law. But those that are only stealing money, for me, for my own personal view, they should just be forgotten. And we cannot be, because Biafra is an entirely new system, cannot begin to judge them on a Biafran system with the zoo environment that they found themselves. Because the way the zoo system is, when you find yourself in that circle, when you find yourself in the circle of the zoo, you will definitely behave like them. Some of us that outrightly refuse to put ourselves in that circle, it is self-discipline. We decided to discipline ourselves to live above the system. It is not easy to live above a system. It's not easy. Naturally, when a system is being programmed, everything that comes under that system follows that system. The zoo is a system. Those of us in this struggle for the restoration of Biafra, we have cut ourselves out of the zoo system. That is why it's a sacrifice. Because when you flow in that system, it is normal life, normal living. We have cut ourselves. That is why at the beginning I said that What is the Fulani system? The Fulani system is a few people in power that have some thugs that are loyal to them. Then the rest of the populace are beggars. They beg either the thugs who enjoy some level of favors from those that are in power.